This is Dr. Adnan Al-Bursh. He was one of the most prominent doctors in the Gaza Strip. He was detained by Israeli forces in December last year, taken out of Gaza and tortured to death in an Israeli detention center in April this year. His torture was physical, psychological and sexual. He wasn't charged with any crime.
This is the recovery room, full darkness, no water, no electricity. But we have a hero, surgeons in Gaza.
News of Dr. Adnan's death became public in May 2024 from the Ofer prison near Jerusalem, where he was taken to after Israeli forces firstly imprisoned and beat him in the Sde Timan military facility. Dr. Adnan was the head of orthopedic medicine and a surgeon at the Al-Shifa medical complex. He was one of the most experienced, well-trained and well-known doctors in Gaza. He was also a professor of orthopedic medicine and held a master's degree in political science. He was needed across Gaza's hospitals and moved between them in the first months of Israel's assault, particularly as Israel targeted healthcare facilities. He had treated patients in Gaza in many previous wars and was highly regarded by medical staff and personnel. During this war, Dr. Adnan worked around the clock to treat Palestinians severely wounded by the various forms of Israeli attacks. He was sleeping in the hospitals and documented the difficult and emotional moments Gaza's population and medical workers were forced to endure. Despite the pain, we are steadfast, he said on the brink of tears in a vlog-style video in one of the operating theatres. The conditions of Dr. Adnan's death were revealed to an Israeli human rights organization by prisoners who knew Dr. Adnan well. They said Israeli forces left the severely tortured doctor naked from the waist down to die alone in agonizing pain in the prison's yard. Another doctor who was detained in Sde Timan at the time said Dr. Adnan felt pain all over his body from being beaten.
His chest bone and his back and his legs. He told me that they keep beating him till he arrived where I met him in the detention center. He told me that he thought he may have broken ribs, so badly treated, so he was unable even to go to the toilet alone.
Dr. Adnan's family found out about his death in May this year, several days after he died. His wife and son gave emotional pleas, where they said they were waiting for him to return to them as a freed prisoner, not as a martyr. The arrest and killing of Dr. Adnan, the targeting of hospitals in Gaza, and the destruction of Gaza's healthcare system is all part of Israel's genocidal campaign on Gaza. Many doctors and healthcare workers have repeatedly said.
Who have witnessed a war where the destruction of the health system is central to the war effort. We know from testimonies of those who've been released that they are being tortured. Some of them have been killed under torture, like Dr. Adnan Al-Bursh.
We are in Gaza. We are in Gaza in the 21st century. This is Shifa Hospital, the greatest area in the world.